You know, I mean, it really is. It's getting worse. It's getting harder to enjoy it. You know, because it's more like a job now. I mean, it's really more like a job. Used to, I mean, I'd work all day and work half a night on one of them. Now I just got me somebody hired to do it. Heck with it. I don't feel like staying down there at 11, 12 o'clock at night worrying with them.
Work all day, work on the race car all night, work all day too.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days in a row.
Yeah. You know, just it's
I thought 4 to 7, 8. By the time I
it's a job. If you're gonna run competitive. If you're going to go out there and take your tire off and sling it out the window and wave at your spectators now, you can go to work Friday evening on it, you know, or Saturday morning.
Or when you get to the racetrack,
Yeah,
you know.
I've seen them do that. But it ain't that way no more.
Yeah.
You know.
If you're going to be competitive, you're going to stay on top of the game all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's the first thing he told me when I talked to him.
Man, I got to fool with all this bump stop and double stack stuff. I never fooled as much, you know, until here this year. I got 5 different right front shops. 5 different ones.
5 different bump stops in it.
5, well, double stack with a bump stop. I got 5 different shops made up for the right front. 700 a lick. You know, $3,500 for a shop just on the right front. That way, you know, if your shim package ain't right in this one, you can put your nut on there and go again, you know. But that's just to be competitive. I ain't winning.
It's some old pictures, right?
You know.
What year do y'all run?
I mean, that's just how competitive this stuff's done got.
With a crate car.
608,
That's why I got conventional.
Used to, you go to the racetrack.
Well, I mean, we got conventional stuff, you know. I mean, that's just like Blankenship. When he won up there, when we run third at Magnolia, he was on a 7 and a 4 double stack. What he was on. But O'Neal runs a 7 and a 4, 6 and a 5 double stack, but he was on a conventional 350. You know, that Saturday night. But it's just what fits you, you know. They do a shoemaker.
Okay, that's
But you know, all this stuff you buy now, you Clark, man.
Who in here spent $1 million on cars?
Huh?
On $1 million on cars? $1 million on cars.
That's your square key.
He's probably, I'd hate to say what has been spent, right?
You take the square key.
Sorry, it took me a while to find an intelligent question.
Because
I'm in a room with a whole lot of knowledge.
It'll make you work 10, 11 o'clock in your shop just to go buy stuff.
I'll put it this way. If I'd have got paid minimum wage for the hours that I worked on race car, I'd be a rich man. Just minimum wage.
Just minimum wage.
Me and Lil Randy was riding down the road one night, well, 2 or 3 weeks ago, coming back from races.
I don't remember this car.
Yep. And
Just taking pictures of the
we just got you counting up
I don't remember
what we had riding down the road. Truck, trailer, cars, motors, parts, tires, wheels, transmission, all that stuff. Way over $500,000.
Yeah.
You gotta be a complete idiot to do this stuff. You know that. You've been doing it all your life.
We did. You know, we used to think it was crazy. Scott Blunk was, they said somebody wanted to buy one of his cars and says $100,000. And you said, man, ain't no way that's a $100,000 car. Well, then we turned around and we asked Mark Richards what he'd sell one of his cars for, and he said, well, Blunk's is worth 100, mine's worth 100. But you sit there and you get to figuring it up. 100,000, you know, for one of their cars and one of their motors is probably about in line with what they got in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're buying a bunch of that knowledge too.
Yeah.
Whenever you pay that money for them Blunkers cars.
Yeah.
And the deal is, you gotta buy 2 of them.
Yeah.
They're $75,000 a piece, just a car. $150,000 for 2 of them. Then you gotta take your motors up there and let them put them in. Let them do the deal. And then you got to, you know, you buying that information.
You know who it is?
Not really.
And you got some of them see your car and they tell you, oh, I'm gonna tell you everything I know.
This
Till you call them.
15 car.
They don't want to answer the phone. You know.
Yeah, I done been down that road.
I don't buy but one from them. And then I go somewhere else.
What about when y'all bought that car from CJ Rader?
That's what I said. I done been down that road.
We was up there buying a car from Raker here, me and Stokes was a long time ago, and got up there to get it. It wasn't ready. Had to have finished putting it together. Next day, he said, I noticed it had a power steering on the car. I said, we gotta have power steering. He said, real race car drivers ain't gotta have power steering. I said, all right. I told Stokes, I said, you ain't getting none. So the next day we go to lunch. We in Rayburn's limo.
Yeah.
Me and Morgan, Eddie Carey Jr. and Stokes, and there was another guy in there. Rayburn's driving us to lunch. It slings the power steering belt off of it. We woke up in the parking lot and he's like, I can't drive it. I said, well, real race car drivers can.
Yeah, back then, we was running the darn caster and all that crap we run now, you could do it.
Well, that's what he said. He said, you know, caster's what steers it. He said, you just ain't got enough caster in it. I said, well, what's wrong with this limo? You know,
Yeah.
I know we were at Jackson one night driving Charles over there in a 100-lap race, and dead young, something happened, the power tune drove the whole 100 laps with no power steering. The run, you know, like top 5. That was tough.
Oh, it'll wear you out.
Deal I was talking about with Rayburn, they bought that old Diggin, Larry, and bought that old leaf spring Rayburn from him. They're having problems with it. As long as the racetrack dried out, it was fast, but they're having problems with it in the mud and stuff like early in the
Couldn't
night.
get qualified. It said, well, front wheels that high off the ground.
They called him and said, what do we need to do? That he said, go eat your hot dog, wait for the racetrack to get ready.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to go to work the next morning, I swear to God, I'd have won if I whooped his ass. I ain't never been so mad at nobody that I couldn't get my hands on in my life.
Rayburn is the closest thing to an assembly line of like a General Motors or Ford or something like that. You go in Rayburn's shop, he builds everything there. He builds the spindles, he builds the upper control arms, he builds your lower control arms. I mean, the only thing he don't build is just like some of your rear end stuff, your
Right.
tubes, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But he builds everything else. You know, and you trying to put frill stuff on, what I call nice stuff on, it's simple stuff.
Yeah.
Rubber brake lines, you know, on the metal line to here, he don't put no braided line on it. Calipers, I mean, they're just old school stuff, you know. But when you come in that place up there, you go in the back of it, and this thing, it starts at the back, and it comes down the assembly line, your car does. He's got frames sitting right there, and he's one of the only places, there's about 2 or 3 places in the country that can mandrel in frame rails, like this right here.
Right.
He was one of them.
Yeah.
Him and a couple more places up in Indiana. But that car starts coming down that assembly line, your car does. They get you the pipe, it comes on through here, and then it comes down that assembly line, then it turns. When it turns, it starts going out like it's going to go out the front door. You got guys start doing, hanging stuff on it.
Yeah.
You know. And it comes right on down that assembly line. When it leaves there, it goes to another group of boys. And then it goes right here to where the final stage is, whether you want to put your motor in it or you through with it and they shove it out the door. His junkyard up there is as big as any junkyard around here.
Nothing but your race car.
Nothing but race cars. 75% of them are Jeff Purvis's cars.
Yeah.
You know, this boo-goos and boo-goos and boo-goos up there. You know, and it's, but he's got his own engine building room.
Yeah.
I mean, he builds his own engines. I mean, it's as close to an assembly line at a dealership that you'll ever see, or
Well, he was the first
big
one
car.
to build a pretty fast frame.
That's exactly right.
Very first one.
Him, what is the director,
Bob Glidden lives
Bob
right next
Glidden,
to it.
yeah.
Lives right next door to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles had together with, old car that Jimmy Moore built, that Fairchild and Stokes had their backwards turning motor in, you remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Me and Charles give Fairchild $800 for that thing that didn't even have a rear end in it.
You had to turn the rear end upside down.
Yeah.
It had to be flipped over.
Well, they put the ring gear on the wrong, on the other side.
Yeah, to make it to where it
Go
would
back,
turn the wrong way.
Yeah.
Fairchild.